I couldn't even believe when I'd heard that women weren't part of health studies until the mid 90s. Like, I'm hopeful that we can obviously get to that down the line with the narrative, but most importantly, get to the women that need it right now. 'Cause there are so many women right now that need the help, that don't know who to talk to, don't know who to share all of this with. And I
If you've heard of the Longevity Bible Lifespan by Professor David Sinclair, you know that living well is more important than just living long. In fact, this show is dedicated to the science of beauty, wellness, and longevity. That's why I'm so thrilled to partner with Melrose Future Lab. Future Lab is Australia's first supplement range focused on extending not just your lifespan, but your health span. Available exclusively at Chemist Warehouse, these affordable and science-backed supplements are the key to aging well.
It was 2019 in November, and I was sitting on the news desk and plugging along just a regular night. And I had had a problem earlier in the broadcast, and I'd had this like several times leading up to this, where I'd look at a word, I'd see it, recognized it, but couldn't get it out of my mouth. We didn't have vocabulary then like brain fog, or I didn't. And so I didn't know what it was. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know what's happening to me. I just like, I'm forgetting things. I can't remember stuff. Oh my gosh, look what happened to me. And then I realized, oh my gosh, look what's happening to all of us. And so I think that's when I became very, I wouldn't even say interested, but just kind of almost obsessive with like how little we know about this time in our life and how much we have to learn, and what we need to share, and how even if we I didn't have a mom later in life. My mom died when I was young, but even if I had had a mom, a lot of moms have never spoken.
Went through menopause at 45. I had absolutely no
Mhm.
idea until I was 47. I had all
Wow.
of the symptoms,
Yeah.
absolutely all of them. I went to my aesthetic physician and said, "Oh, do you think you could do something about this? I'm feeling some laxity." And he said, "I think it's your hormones. Let's go get those checked." So he referred
Wow.
me to
Mhm.
another doctor. And she said, "When was your last period?" And I said, 2 years ago. And she goes, "Well, you've had menopause."
It doesn't surprise me though, as much as I'd like to say it does, because I just am really so clear on how much shame has been wrapped around all this for so long, and it's going to take a long time for us to erase that part. But I'm hopeful that we can obviously get to that down the line with the narrative, but most importantly, get to the women that need it right now, because there are so many women right now that need the help, that don't know who to talk to, that don't know who to share all of this with. And I
Some of those insights, the cultural insights, the international insights about how women's health has been just so neglected. Yeah, it's such an opportunity for change.
And I had no idea. Like, I mean, it wasn't anything I thought. I couldn't even believe when I'd heard that women weren't part of health studies until the mid 90s. Like, that didn't even register in my mind that that could be a possibility in this day and age. And so when we set out to do the film, we wanted to do two things. We wanted to really drive the conversation. We wanted women to be able to talk openly about it. I think it's a time for celebration, and I don't think we've ever had a celebration in menopause. And I think it's long overdue. I think we celebrate every other part of a woman's timeline, and then this one we hide, and I don't think that's okay.
I have a great update to share from Melrose Future Lab. Hormonal health is a vital hallmark of aging and longevity. And whether you're navigating perimenopause or menopause, Melrose Future Lab's new ultra complex supplements are here to support you. Backed by clinical research and using advanced technology for effective absorption, these formulations are designed to provide relief through every phase. Find them exclusively at Chemist Warehouse. Always read the label and follow the directions for use. I know that the menopause has changed the dialogue around what it feels like and what the representation of women at 40, 45, 50 plus. Did you get pushback when these two universes were colliding, the celebrity world, the doctor world, the influencer world?
No, I actually am really, I love how you put it, because I really agree with you. All these worlds coming together, I think, is what's moving the needle. And I love the fact that at the end of the day, we're all women. It doesn't matter where we came from. It doesn't matter if we're celebrities or we're influencers or we're doctors or we're scientists or we're politicians. And so I think at the end of the day, we've all realized like this is so important that nothing else can stand in front of this. And so it's really been special. It's been really, really interesting to watch. Oh yeah, it's happening in the US, and I think it has to happen. I think it's a pretty beautiful thing. I think we're experiencing something in this lifetime that I don't know that other, many generations, they've all seen different things, but I think this is a really special one. I think we're seeing it in all different areas. I think that I'm curious to see what 5 years from now is going to look like.
Who mentors you? Who is that person for you? Who do you stalk?
For inspiration? Oh gosh, there's so many women. I have like different lists depending on what it is. Some is for makeup, some is for hair, some is for for like, I don't know, how do they do that and they get all these things done? Organization. There's a lot. I have a list. I have a list. I think I get asked a lot about, am I ever gonna have a good sex life again when it comes to menopause? And the answer is yes. And I think that the other question I get asked a lot is about starting over my career and how difficult, if that was difficult, and if I ever had any doubt about it. And the answer to that is yes. I had a lot of doubt about it. It took me a long time, and it was a very scary thing when you're comfortable and you're doing something that you've done for a long time. It can be hard when you lose that title or that position. It can be hard, but wow, I'm so glad I took that leap. And I often go back to my 85-year-old father who said, "Live your someday today. Like do it today, because if you don't do it today, when are you going to do it?"
Who have been the experts that you have most enjoyed on learning about the concerns? I know you've interviewed, I think, 48 different experts for you.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed learning more about the brain. I think that has been essential for me because that was like one of the really hardest parts for me was brain fog and anxiety and not understanding where that all came from. And Dr. Lisa Mosconi, who's a neuroscientist, she has really been pivotal in this conversation. So I think she's been really exciting to learn from. I think all of the doctors that are part of the book have just been so gracious with their time. I think, how to get a good night's sleep and really stay asleep. I think understanding makeup and how that can change in terms of what you're wearing, how you're applying it, how to keep it on so you're not sweating it off. Body odor was another big one for me. Libido and bedroom, like that was another big one as well. And I also think community and workplace; those are two of the places that I think were important. And then finally, relationships. I mean, you have to take. This is the whole woman, a 360 of a woman, and I couldn't stop finding places that menopause hit, and I said, "Look, wow, menopause isn't just 12 months without a period. How we menopause means a whole lot more than that."
You're listening to the highlights edit of a longer episode. If you enjoyed this clip, be sure to download and listen to the full episode.